Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to our This Is Us episode review. Our thoughts on the season finale of This Is Us, titled Moonshadow. And this was definitely not the finale I was expecting.
Or wanted.
It wasn't a bad episode, it just wasn't a good fit as a season finale. Because I don't mind seeing the backstory of Jack and Rebecca and seeing where they are in the 90s, kind of like leading up to the time in their lives where Jack is about to die. I don't mind that, but the way they did a really bad job marketing this episode.
Yeah. They faked us out on
again.
And in the press. That's what bothers me. They did interviews about it. They did all kinds of stuff.
All teasing Jack's death. And
they didn't have to do that if they weren't going to put Jack's death in it. People were still going to tune in. That's what pisses me off.
Like something you brought up in one of the last videos, like, they don't need to push for ratings because they're one of the highest rated shows on TV right now.
Yeah, and they're pissing people off.
A lot of people
were really mad. Mandy Moore even went on and defended it on Instagram.
And she shouldn't have to do that.
To be honest, I love Mandy Moore, but I felt like that wasn't necessary because fans have devoted. I mean, they have really taken on this show and loved it, and so we're allowed to be upset with an episode.
And this is my least favorite episode of all 18 episodes.
And it was the finale, which is why it's so upsetting. If this had been a standalone episode, it would have been
fine. Yeah,
but it was the finale, and they hyped it up to be something that said, we're gonna ruin America. You're all gonna be crying. And it was a little emotional, but it wasn't like the other
The Memphis episode was more emotional than this.
I understand you didn't have to kill Jack in the episode. Okay, good point.
But don't tease us like that, saying, "Oh, you're gonna."
Even in the interviews, you're gonna find out how, or you're gonna see a little bit, but you won't see it all. We didn't see anything. That's what they kept saying all
week, and it was so frustrating.
Cheated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but the episode itself, on its own, isn't a bad episode.
Jack was great.
Yeah, he's always
the fight was my favorite scene, even though it was really sad.
Actually, my favorite.
Well, the last scene was good too.
Yeah, my favorite scene was the last scene where he was talking about how much.
But I loved how real the fight was. It sucked, but it was really real.
Yeah. But this episode, to me, just goes to show how selfish Rebecca is.
I know, Rebecca stresses me out. I want to like her because I love Mandy Moore, but...
she's good, as a parental figure, but, in this episode, she made it seem like her failing is, a burden to her. She's like, I have zero life, and it's that's also kind of your own fault.
Yeah, and it's like...
It makes it seem like it's all Jack's fault, and it's her family's fault for not having a life.
And maybe there's more backstory we need to see, but I just don't see how Jack's impeded her.
He hasn't. He tried to, her aspirations, first of all, aren't even that realistic.
Well, that's what Jack said. I know he said it harshly, but I felt like he was being honest. And if she wanted to do that, he really didn't stop her. Hi, Wesley.
Hey, Wesley.
He didn't stop her until he found out about the boyfriend. And he wasn't going there to stop her. He was going there to support her that night. So it's not like he was going to get in the way, and she said, you're ruining my dreams and all this, and this was the first time she brought it up,
In 15, 16 years?
The first time she wanted to go on tour, she went on tour. She chose to come home, and she was going to come home anyway.
Because of that guy trying to kiss her, who I never liked him to begin with anyway.
So she's bothering me a lot, and then... the fact that Jack said all those perfect things and she didn't say anything back, let alone stop it. Maybe she really felt like they needed that time, but you could have at least responded.
I know. And then she's like, what are we going to tell the kids? It's and that's where, I was with Jack, I'm just be honest with them and tell them
Unless
the truth.
She's thinking it's more than he is, they're done.
That's right. I didn't think I was going to dislike Rebecca so much, but I don't like her anymore.
Yeah, I think they thought they were trying to, validate her. But they made it worse. They made me dislike her character more. They made me
because she's putting her dreams ahead of her family. Her dreams aren't even does she really think she's gonna have a real singing career at that point in her life?
I mean, to be fair, I understand having dreams and all that, but blaming her family for why they haven't come true is what bothers me. Because you haven't done anything to make them happen. You put them on hold. She put them on hold in the flashbacks before she met Jack. She went and sang at the bar, but she wasn't doing anything proactively to achieve them. It's not like Jack was like, I need you to stop singing. She doesn't work. It's not like he's telling her she can't be doing that.
Yeah, and it's talking about having no life again. She could have gone out and made friends. She could, I don't know what's stopping her from trying to have a life outside of her family. Granted, three kids that would be the exact same age. It's a lot to take on, and I give her credit for that. But having no life in 15 years, that's kind of all on you. Like my mom had 6 kids in total, and that was a lot for her. But she still managed to have somewhat of a life outside of us when she could. So that's why Rebecca, to me, that's not a valid excuse. Like,
if Jack was impeding her, then I would think so, but he's not.
He's not. He was trying to be in but he's the only one financially supporting the family. What is he gonna say? Like, oh, I mean, we're not making any money, or like, I don't know. That whole situation was really
It just bothers me that this was the finale.
Because we're all left really frustrated. We're not happy. We're like, oh, it was a nice way to send it off.
In September.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Of course, we'll watch. It's a great show.
No, yeah, it's a great show. And this is our only, not a bad episode, but it was just our only episode which we really had this many problems with.
Yeah.
And it was only because it was the finale. Yeah.
If they had switched the last 2 episodes, it would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have been good because
if they would have
we didn't have any forward movement really for the kids except those 10 seconds.
Yeah, if they would have made the last episode, thrown in all the stuff with Kate and Kevin and Randall in the last episode and have that be the finale, I would have been perfectly okay with it. It would have been a better finale.
Yep.
Because you had the emotional things of dealing with William's death and all of that, and each character's kind of progressing forward. And if you would have thrown in the fact that of Kevin going in for the meeting with Ron Howard with Sophie and then Kate out of nowhere being like, oh, I want to sing, and then we'll get into it. Which is understandable because he's I think from what we've seen, Randall is the most like Jack in the way he leads his life, and he's trying to be a good dad. And his relationship with Beth, I think, is way better than. Well, I'm not saying that Jack and Rebecca have a bad relationship. I think Beth is a more likable person than Rebecca. That's something we brought up last week, and kind of like what I just mentioned a second ago. Kate's decision to be a singer is really out of place because, first of all, she doesn't have a good relationship with Rebecca in the present day as it is. So she sees a picture of Rebecca from when she was younger, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to sing." What?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing with Kate. They teased that Jack was also going to die because it was Kate's fault.
Because it's Kate's fault
So now it's Kate's fault in a different situation.
Yeah, I don't know. They really dropped the ball on this one, I think.
I mean, as you can tell, we waited a day to do the review. I mean, I'm sick, but we also...
We were just
I didn't know what to say.
We would have said a lot more harsh things than we did.
Yeah.
You guys were being harsh now, afterwards, it was yeah. But obviously to me, Jack was a standout in this episode, as he pretty much always is, yeah.
Point being, I love the show. I'm not going to stop watching the show.
It just sucks that this really left us off.
I don't think people will stop watching the show, but I think that the actors and writers and
they manipulated the audience.
And they need to understand why the audience is upset instead of getting defensive. Because you kind of lied to us.
They did.
It's one thing in the show to try to tease it and then not do it.
In the promos
all shows do that. Yeah. But to go out and do interviews about it and
say that we're going to get somewhat of an answer on Jack's death, which we get we don't even know how he dies.
And it's not like they cut it out. They calculated that. And they said that in the after show. They said, sorry, America. We lied to you in the
it's that's seriously. That's manipulating. Necessary. Yeah, it's manipulating your audience. And it's they didn't have to do that because it's you don't need to do that to your viewers, especially when you're one of the
That's what you do when you're losing viewers, not when you.
Now they're gonna have to fight for viewers.
Now they're it just wasn't smart, and I love the show. I love everybody in it.
Me too.
I get it, but I just
it leaves the show it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because this is where we are for 9 months until the show comes back.
Exactly. This is my last impression of the show until September.
It's just
So that's the upsetting part. So
but again, there's parts of the episode I didn't enjoy. I like seeing kind of where Jack was and him trying the whole thing of him trying to be a good man but then that contradicted himself when he was trying to steal from the old man at the bar. Yeah,
I didn't get that. I didn't know that's what he meant when he said that we're gonna go back Friday night or whatever. I didn't know he meant he was gonna rob.
I thought he was gonna try to get the money back from the poker guys.
Me too.
Yeah. So wait, what does that mean going back? I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad he didn't because that would have made me not like him as much. Yeah. But I mean, I get it. He's young. He's just trying to get his money back. But it was a dumb decision.
I think my favorite line in it was when Rebecca was like, I wonder who that girl would have been, the one that he stood up, and he said, I never did.
Yeah, that was really
that
the last few minutes of the episodes, it really worked for me. The fight and the morning after. They were
amazing
really
acting. Yeah. It was great, but it just wasn't a finale.
Yeah. And then don't get us wrong. Like when we say we don't like Rebecca, it's not because like we hate Mandy Moore or anything. Like we think Mandy Moore's an amazing actress.
I think she's a great actress, and I think she does a really great job playing Rebecca.
It's the way they write Rebecca, and they make her. We got to meet them. They make her more unlikable.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I didn't like her in the present day, but now I'm not even liking her in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
So it's
like I liked her in the first few episodes, and then I could still understand where she was coming from sometimes. Mm-hmm. But last night and like the couple episodes before, I just but
the one thing in the present day when she finally did open up and apologize to Randall, that I did like it from the.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a great scene from last week.
That's the thing is I think they could salvage Rebecca, but what they're doing in the past right now sucks because.
Well, I think that's like also I brought this up when we first talked about it. Is I think that's why kind of Kate and Kevin aren't super close with her because of kind of where she is at that point and how. Yeah. But whether the marriage works out or not, I think that's gonna damage their relationship until the present day. Because obviously we see in the present day Kate and Rebecca don't really get along all that well, and Kevin they don't really show him much with Rebecca at all. No. So we don't even know what their relationship is.
I think his problem is Miguel.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't help me either. The fact that she's with his best friend. I mean, I guess we have to wait and see how he dies and how it all unfolds. But that is hard for me to get over. I mean, that's who he's staying with right now while they're separated. It's Miguel.
But I feel like now, even if they don't, what they're doing with Rebecca in the flashbacks is pissing me off. But what they did last week with her in the present day, like they redeem her in that way, make her like a better person in the present day, then I think I'll be okay with it.
It's all gonna come down to how her and Jack end up before he dies. Because
if she ends up like leaving him or something like that, then America's gonna hate Rebecca. That's for sure. But overall, again, it wasn't a bad episode. It just wasn't a good episode to have as a finale. Yeah. So for us, it's leaving again like a bad taste in our mouths because this isn't what they wanted, and they manipulated us in marketing. They manipulated us with the interviews and stuff by saying we're gonna find out what happens to Jack, and clearly we don't. But as a standalone episode, it's good. I liked it, but again, it was
a season finale.
It was disappointing. So those are our thoughts on this finale of This Is Us.
Such a positive way to end September.
What did you guys think of the show, or what you guys thought of the season in general, or the finale itself? So sound your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for all the other content I put up on my channel. I just did a reaction review to the brand new Wonder Woman trailer on my channel. You guys can check that out. I review obviously the Supergirl, the Flash, and Arrow on my channel. You guys can check those out as well. And so thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.